Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you and the mercy of Allah and His grace. Hello and welcome once again to Understanding Islam, your show that explores the faith. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and peace and blessing be upon His last messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, His companions, and those who follow the right path. Dear brothers and sisters, today will be our last episode of this season, and we thank you all for following us and tuning in each week. As a way of thank you, we have once again decided to do a question and answer episode. We hope that you leave today feeling enlightened and with the answers you seek. Now on to our first question. The viewer is asking, I have been a Muslim my whole life, but I have not always been the best I can be. I missed many of the daily prayers for many years, and I'm not trying to be better and pray every day. I know you make up prayers that you have missed, but I've missed so many now that I don't even know the number. What is the best thing to do in this instance? Dear viewer, Salah, prayer, is a very important obligation in Islam, as it is the second pillar in the religion. Muslims should perform prayers within their times and should not miss any single prayer. Allah the Almighty says, verily the Salah is enjoined on the believers at stated times. Surah An-Nisa 4, verse 103. Dear viewer, you should repent to Allah the Almighty and ask Him for His forgiveness, as He promised to forgive those who repent. You should also concentrate and start praying every day. Should also make up for any missed prayer. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever slept and missed a prayer or forgot it, let him pray it as soon as he remembers it. Overwhelming majority of scholars say that you must pray the missed salah, regardless of how many you have missed. They quote the above mentioned hadith among other proofs, which required the one who sleeps or forgets the missed salah to perform it. While this is the case for the one who forgets, it is common sense that the one who deliberately neglects the salah must perform it as well. If you can remember and count the missed prayer, then make up for them by offering them at intervals. As you have missed so many years, then the best thing you can do is to pray before and after each fard or obligatory prayer, one more prayer of the same as qada, or making up for the missed one. That is, you pray 2 before or after Fajr for 1 missed Fajr, and 4 with Dhuhr for 1 missed Dhuhr, and so on. You continue doing that until you believe that you have made up for all the missed prayers. Very few scholars say that if you deliberately miss too many, then you cannot make up for them. You can only repent, ask for forgiveness, pray many voluntarily salah, give charity, and make good deeds, so that Allah the Almighty will pardon you. I am more convinced with the first opinion. I would like to advise myself, you, and all our viewers that we should never deliberately delay or miss a prayer again. And if it happens, then make up for it as soon as possible. May Allah guide us all to what He loves and accepts, and Allah knows best. For our second question today, we look again to legal side of the religion. And the viewer is asking, why are 2 women equivalent to 1 man when it comes to being a witness? Not every man is reliable, and not every woman is forgetful. Dear viewer, there are different numbers of witnesses prescribed in Islam for different occasions. The witnesses can be 4 witnesses, 3, 2, or 1 male or female witness. The matter you are inquiring about is mentioned in the longest verse in the Holy Quran, which is named the verse of debt, because this long verse speaks about the importance of authenticating debt and having witnesses for it. Let us look at the translation of the part you are asking about. Allah the Almighty says what means, but if he who owes the debt is of low understanding or weak, or unable himself to dictate, then let the guardian of his interest dictate in terms of equity, and call to witness from among your men 2 witnesses. And if 2 men be not at hand, then a man and 2 women, of such as you approve as witnesses, so that if the one errs through forgetfulness, the other will remember. Surah Al-Baqarah 2, verse 282. As we can see, this verse is dealing with debt and its authentication, a specific point regarding a specific financial matter, not mentioned as a general rule or criterion. You are very right in stating that not every man is reliable and not every woman is forgetful. However, the rules are based on the normal prevailing natures and not on specific cases. Allah Almighty, the Creator, is instructing Muslims that in this specific regard, the witnesses should be 2 men or a man and 2 women. And the wisdom was given in the same place. If one of them makes a mistake or forgot, the other will correct or remind her. Keep in mind that the verse is advising the person lending money as to protect his rights. It does not mean that if there are no such witnesses, he will lose his money or the rule will be against him or such. No, this is not the way a judge may rule or reach a verdict. Generally, the judge's ruling has nothing to do with the numbers of witnesses or their genders. The judges usually rule based on whether the witness is telling the truth or not, regardless of the gender or number of witnesses. There are many cases in Islam in which a single female witness is enough and her witness is accepted, such as fostering, menses, the end of iddah or waiting period after divorce, etc. The Messenger ﷺ himself accepted the witness of a single woman regarding fostering and based his rule on it. So the actual consideration for a witness depends on experience and the nature of matters and not on the gender of the witness. One important thing to keep in mind is that this difference is not mentioned in the Holy Quran as a type of privilege to men, but simply due to the nature of the matter in hand and the nature of the genders and their responsibilities, and only in a specific matter as we have seen. Nowadays, scientists agree that there are differences between male and female brains, giving each one of them strength with certain tasks and abilities. One of these differences is related to mathematical abilities. In 1999, scientists working at Johns Hopkins University reported in Cerebral Cortex, a scholarly journal, that they have discovered a brain region in the cortex called inferior parietal lobe, or IPL for short, which is significantly larger in men than in women. Furthermore, the left side of this IPL is larger in men than the right side. This is the same area which was shown to be larger in the brain of Albert Einstein as well as other physicists and mathematicians. So it seems that the IPL's size correlates highly with mental mathematical abilities. They said that after allowing for the natural differences in overall brain volume which exist between the brains of men and women, there was still a difference of 5% between the IPL volumes. This is other than the approximately 10% larger male brains that are due to the larger bodies and muscle mass and has nothing to do with intelligence. They also mentioned that in general, the IPL allows the brain to process information from senses and help in selective attention and perceptions. For example, women are more able to focus on specific stimuli, like such as a crying baby at night. So again, this is all in accordance with each specific gender's nature. Dear viewer, we will have more questions from you after this short break, so stay with us. Welcome back to Understand Islam. Dear viewers, today we are again taking the time to answer the questions of you, our viewers, by dedicating another episode to the answers you seek. Our next question relates to intention, a topic we have covered in depth before when we spoke about sincerity. You can watch that episode and others on dmi.ae/Dubai1. The question is, I know that seeking praise and rewards for good actions here in this world is wrong. But I was wondering if it is really okay to only be doing good deeds for heaven and the hereafter. Is it okay to only be good so that I am rewarded in heaven, or is that also a form of selfishness? Should I try to be good for the sake of goodness? Dear viewer, this topic is more philosophical than practical. Nevertheless, I'll try to shed more light on the subject. There is no such thing as an action without any sort of intention. However, people differ in their intentions. Some intentions are good, clear, practical, sincere, useful, and meaningful, and some are not. Islam calls people to have good intentions for any action they do, even for small daily actions in their normal life. That will serve two purposes. First, they will gain more rewards as they will be rewarded for normal actions because of their good intentions. And second, the heart and mind will always be alert, guiding you to doing good deeds and preventing you from doing bad deeds, thus transforming your life and behavior. There were some Muslim philosophers who called for doing goodness without seeking rewards in the hereafter, as to be more sincere. However, I believe that this is not a very practical approach, nor a real one. All actions of people are linked to a certain intention. Most people who claim to do something without any intention actually do have an intention, but usually that intention is not a meaningful one, such as just passing time, or relaxing, or clearing thoughts, looking at people pass by, etc. So they do have an intention of a sort after all. And if this point is established, the next point will be whether the action is done with a good intention or not. As we say, this topic is philosophical, and our aim in the program is to look at the practical aspects of Islam that affect our lives and human interactions. I hope this concise answer cleared the point a little for you. Our next question is on tipping, and the viewer is asking, what is Islam's view on the practice of tipping? I know that generally you should not get more money than is yours and you have the money that you have worked for. If a customer gives an usually large tip, is it permissible to accept it? Dear viewer, Islam calls for the protection of people's money and properties. It is not allowed in Islam to take people's money without having the right to do so, such as without their knowledge or approval. Generally, gifts given due to performing paid work should be avoided, as many scholars state that this is not allowed, and it's not allowed in Islam to receive gifts given to him even if he does